Peppa Goes Skiing. If you'd like to buy this book, check in the link description down below. It is a lovely snowy day, and Peppa's family are going skiing. First they have to take a ski lift all the way to the top of the snowy mountain.
Oh, that looks a bit high,
says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig does not like heights. Everyone gets on the ski lift. This is fun, calls Peppa, and she sings a little song. In the air, in the chair, snow is falling everywhere. Daddy Pig does not think it's fun. He does not like the way the ski lift clunks and clanks. At the top of the snowy mountain, Daddy Pig falls out of his chair and into the snow. Are you alright, Daddy? Cries Peppa.
Ho ho! Yes, Peppa,
says Daddy Pig.
Let's get you your ski lesson.
Madam Gazelle starts a ski lesson. Peppa, George and all the friends learn how to start and stop. Whee! Skiing is fun, cries Peppa as they go down the baby slope. Can we see you ski now, Madam Gazelle? Asks Peppa. Oh, I don't know, replies Madam Gazelle. Please? Everyone cries. Very well, says Madam Gazelle. Voila! Madam Gazelle does a magnificent ski jump. Everyone claps and cheers. That was amazing, says Peppa. Thank you, says Madam Gazelle. I was the world champion at skiing and I won this cup. Ooh, everyone says. Which mummy or daddy would like a go? Says Madam Gazelle. I will, says Mummy Pig. Where does this path lead? Down the mountain, cries Madam Gazelle. Help! Where are my brakes? Shouts Mummy Pig.
She can't stop,
cries Daddy Pig.
Let's catch up with her in the coach.
Mummy Pig skis down the mountain, along the road and past the shops. Eee! Stand back! Cries Mummy Pig. She even does a loop-the-loop at the top speed. Finally, everyone catches up with Mummy Pig. She has crashed straight into a snowdrift. You're a walking, talking snowman, Mummy, laughs Peppa. I have never seen such amazing skiing, says Madam Gazelle. This cup belongs to you now. Everyone cheers as Madam Gazelle presents Mummy Pig with a world champion cup. Hooray, says Peppa. My mummy's a skiing champion. The end. Peppa Pig. Peppa Goes Apple Picking. It is a lovely sunny morning. Mummy and Daddy Pig have a surprise for Peppa and George.
Today is a perfect day for apple picking,
says Daddy Pig. We'll use apples to make a pie for Granny and Grandad Pig, says Mummy Pig. Hooray! Peppa and George cheer. They love apples, and they especially love pie. Peppa and the family arrive at the orchard, but the apples are very high in the trees. How will we reach them? Asks Peppa.
Ho ho,
says Daddy Pig.
I have a trick for picking those apples. On the count of 3, shake the tree,
says Daddy Pig. Peppa and the family hold on to the tree trunk. 1, 2, 3. They shout, shake, shake, shake. The apples come falling down. Soon Peppa's and George's baskets are full. Hooray! cheer Peppa and George. Daddy Pig, your trick worked.
I am a bit of an expert at apple picking,
says Daddy Pig. Do we have enough apples now for Granny and Granddad's special pie? Asks Peppa.
Almost, says Daddy Pig. We just need a few more from the trees at the very top of the hill. Those apples are the juiciest.
Are you sure, Daddy Pig? Asks Mummy. I think we have plenty of apples now. But Daddy Pig is sure. He leads them up to the hill. Peppa and her family shake the tree, but the apples don't fall off.
Says Daddy Pig. Maybe if we shake it a bit harder.
Shake, shake, shake! The apples still don't fall off. What do we do now? Asks Peppa.
There's only one way to reach those apples, says Daddy Pig, and that's to climb.
Do be careful, Daddy Pig, says Mummy Pig. Daddy climbs to the very top of the tree. He climbs out onto the farthest branch to get the juiciest looking apple. Daddy Pig almost reaches the apple when, whoa! The branch bends and Daddy Pig falls. Oh dear! Daddy Pig has fallen into a big muddy puddle and splashed everyone with mud. Are you okay, Daddy Pig? Asks Peppa.
Yes, shouts Daddy Pig, and I reached the juiciest apple.
Back at home, Mummy Pig takes all the apples to the kitchen. It's time to make the pie, she says. Goody, says Peppa. Says George. First, Mummy Pig makes the pie crust. Then they make the apple pie filling. Peppa and George help with stirring. They use sugar, water, cinnamon, and the most important ingredient of all, the apples, shout Peppa and George. Soon the apple pie is fresh out of the oven.
Says Daddy Pig. It smells yummy. Can we eat it?
Not yet, says Mummy Pig. We have to bring it to Granny and Grandpa's first. Peppa and the family drive to Granny and Grandpa's Pig's house. Hello, my little ones, says Granny Pig. What's all this? Surprise, cries Peppa. We made you an apple pie. It's delicious, says Granny. How did you make it so yummy? Daddy Pig picked the apples from the very top of the tree, says Peppa, and got us all muddy.
But it was worth it, snorts Daddy Pig.
What a funny day of apple picking it has been. Peppa Pig dentist trip. Every morning, Peppa and George brush their teeth. Scrub, scrub, scrub. George, are your teeth as clean as mine? Peppa asks, showing off her clean white teeth.
You both have lovely clean teeth. I'm sure the dentist will be happy, calls out Daddy Pig.
Later that day, Peppa and George are at the dentist waiting for their checkup. It is George's first visit. Peppa, George, the dentist will see you now, says Mrs. Rabbit, the nurse. Hooray! They both cheer. This is Dr. Elephant, the dentist.
Who's first?
He asks. I'm first, replies Peppa. I'm a big girl. Watch me, George.
Open wide, please,
orders the Dr. Elephant softly. Peppa opens her mouth as wide as she possibly can. Let's take a look, says the dentist, checking Peppa's teeth with a mirror.
There, all done. What lovely clean teeth, cheers Dr. Elephant. Now you can have the special drink.
Peppa spits the pink liquid out into the sink. It's George's turn next. George does not want it to be his turn, so the dentist lets him hold Mr. Dinosaur.
All done. You have very strong, clean teeth, George, smiles Dr. Elephant. But wait, what is this? Cries Dr. Elephant. George has clean teeth, but this young dinosaur's teeth are very dirty. The water jet, please, Miss Rabbit, orders the dentist. He uses the water to clean Mr. Dinosaur's teeth.
Pink,
cries George, picking up a glass. That's right, George, says the dentist. Mr. Dinosaur needs some special pink drink.
Gosh, what shiny teeth you have, Mrs. Dinosaur, cries Mrs. Rabbit. Dinosaur, grrr, snorts George. George loves Mr. Dinosaur, especially now that he has nice, clean teeth. The end. Peppa Pig. Peppa plays football. It's a sunny day and Peppa and Susie Sheep are playing tennis. To you, Susie, cheers Peppa, hitting the ball. Now it's Susie's turn. To you, Peppa, she cries, hitting the ball straight over Peppa's head. Oh dear. George feels a bit left out. Sorry, George, says Peppa. You can't play tennis. We only have 2 rackets. George can be the ball boy, cheers Susie. Being a ball boy is a very important job, George, says Peppa. Peppa and Susie are having lots of fun, but they keep missing the ball. Ball boy, they shout together. George is not having fun. He keeps running to get the ball and he is very tired. Hello, everyone, cries Peppa when her friends arrive. We're playing tennis.
Can we play too? Asks Danny Dog.
There aren't enough rackets, replies Susie Sheep.
Let's play football then, says Danny Dog.
Football, hooray! Everybody cheers. Can we play girls against boys? Says Peppa. Each team needs a goalkeeper, says Danny Dog. Me, shouts Pedro Pony. Me, cries Rebecca Rabbit. Pedro Pony and Rebecca Rabbit decide to be the goalkeepers. The boys' team will start, says Danny Dog. Richard Rabbit gets the ball and runs very fast. Right by Peppa, Susie Sheep and Candy Cat and straight up to the... Goal! Cry Danny and Pedro together as Richard Rabbit kicks the ball straight past Rebecca Rabbit and into the net. The boy is a winner, cheers Danny Dog. That's not fair, we weren't ready, moans Peppa. Rebecca Rabbit picks up the ball and runs. Hey, shouts Danny Dog, that's cheating, you can't hold the ball. Yes, I can, says Rebecca. I'm the goalkeeper. Rebecca throws the ball into the goal, straight past Pedro Pony. Goal! She cries. That goal's not allowed, says Pedro. Yes, it is, says Peppa. No, it isn't, barks Danny.
What a lot of noise, snorks Danny Pig. I'll be the referee. The next team to get a goal will win the game.
Richard Rabbit and George run off with the football while everyone's still talking. Where's the ball? Asks Peppa. But it's too late. Richard Rabbit kicks the ball straight into the goal past Pedro Pony. Hooray! The boys win! Cries Danny. Football is a silly game, sighs Peppa, disappointed.
Just a moment, says Daddy Pig. The boys scored their own goal. That means the girls win.
Really? Gasp all the girls. Hooray! Football is a great game, cheers Peppa. Everyone laughs. The end. Peppa Pig, George and the Noisy Baby. Peppa and George's family are having a sleepover at Cousin Chloe's house. Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig are looking forward to an early night. They've had a long journey. Hello, cries Cousin Chloe. Hello, shouts Auntie Pig.
Hello,
booms Uncle Pig. Everyone makes a lot of noise in Cousin Chloe's house. They are a very noisy family. First, we'll put baby Alexander to bed, says Auntie Pig. This is his bedroom. Auntie Pig turns up baby Alexander's musical mobile. Alexander likes the noises, she explains. It sends him to sleep. Peppa and George are staying in Cousin Chloe's bedroom. They are very excited. Night-night, snorts Peppa. Soon everyone is tucked up in their beds asleep. Baby Alexander's awake. Everyone is awake. Uncle Pig tries vacuuming. Auntie Pig tries playing the trumpets. Noise is the best way to get baby Alexander to sleep, she says. Daddy Pig has a quiet idea to try.
When George was a baby, we used to put him in his pram and wheel him around the house, he says. That always sent him to sleep.
Daddy Pig pushes baby Alexander in his pram. He only has to go around the house 50 times.
Ah, good,
He puffs at last.
baby Alexander's asleep.
Daddy Pig and baby Alexander are ready to come inside. Auntie Pig switches the alarm back on.
George,
Cries Daddy Pig.
what are you doing up?
Oh, yawns George. Noisy. Daddy Pig takes George up, baby Alexander back up to bed. He is about to turn the light off when... Uh-oh, gasps George. Baby Alexander is awake again. It is very noisy. Daddy Pig decides to drive baby Alexander around in the car. Don't forget to turn off the alarm, shouts Auntie Pig. Daddy Pig forgets to turn off the alarm. The noisy house wakes everyone up. Miss Rabbit zooms across in a rescue helicopter. Is everyone alright down there? Yells Miss Rabbit.
Yes, thank you.
Bellows Uncle Pig. The alarm has worked. Baby Alexander's fast asleep. And it's all down to my noisy daddy. Giggles Peppa. The end. Peppa Pig. Bedtime for Peppa. One evening, Peppa and George are finishing their dinner. It's almost bedtime, but the little piggies are not sleepy. Can we play outside for just a tiny bit? Peppa asks.
All right, says Daddy Pig, but you must come in when we call you for your bath.
Peppa and George go outside to play one last game before bedtime. Look, George, cries Peppa. Lots of muddy puddles. Peppa and George like jumping up and down in muddy puddles.
Peppa, George,
Calls Daddy Pig.
bath time.
Peppa and George run home in their muddy boots. We found the biggest muddy puddle in the world, cries Peppa.
Are you and George feeling sleepy?
Asks Daddy Pig. No, Daddy, says Peppa. We are not even a tiny bit sleepy. Before bedtime, Peppa and George take their bath. Peppa likes splashing. George likes splashing too,
Ho ho, that's enough splashing,
says Daddy Pig.
Let's get you into your pajamas.
Oh, can't we stay in the bath a little longer? Peppa asks.
Bath time is over,
Says Daddy Pig. Before going to bed, Peppa and George brush their teeth. Okay, that's enough brushing, says Mummy Pig. Oh, but I think our teeth need a little more cleaning, says Peppa. When you're in bed, Daddy Pig will read you a story, Mummy tells them. Peppa and George like stories. They hurry into their beds. When Peppa goes to bed, she always has a teddy tucked in with her. When George goes to bed, he always has Mr. Dinosaur tucked in with him.
Are you feeling sleepy now?
Says Daddy Pig. No, Daddy, Peppa says. We still need lots and lots of stories. Daddy, will you read one story? Says Mummy Pig.
Which story would you like?
The Red Monkey book, please, says Peppa. Peppa and George like the Red Monkey book. So Daddy Pig reads them the story of the Red Monkey.
Once upon a time there was a red monkey. He had all sorts of adventures. After every adventure, this red monkey would take a bath, brush his teeth, and go to sleep.
When Daddy Pig finishes the story, Peppa and George are fast asleep. Good night, Peppa. Sweet dreams. Peppa Pig. Peppa meets the Queen. Peppa and her family are watching television. Suddenly, there is a special announcement from the Queen. The Queen! The Queen! Peppa cheers. Hello to you all, the Queen says. Today, I have decided to give an award to the hardest working person in the country. The hardest working person in the country is Miss Rabbit. At the supermarket, Miss Rabbit is closing the shop when Mr. Zebra, the postman, presents her with a golden letter. Miss Rabbit, please come to my palace to get a medal for all your hard work. Bring friends. All the best, the Queen. I can't visit the Queen. I've got too much work to do. Miss Rabbit panics. Don't worry, Peppa says. The Queen has made it a holiday. It is the day Miss Rabbit visits the Queen. Peppa and her friends are going too. We're off to see the Queen. We're off to see the Queen. E-I-A-D-O, we're off to see the Queen. Woo! Here we are, Miss Rabbit squeaks. Look at all the fancy stuff. Oh, Danny Dog says. Don't touch anything, Miss Rabbit warns. Where is the Queen? Emily Elephant asks. Queen, Susie Sheep calls. Where are you? In another fancy room, there is a lady sitting on a throne, knitting. Hello, Peppa says. Have you seen the Queen today? I am the Queen, the lady says. The children are very excited to meet you, Your Majesty, says Miss Rabbit. I am excited to meet all of you, the Queen says, standing up. And now for Miss Rabbit's medal. This is the Queen's Award for Industry. Keep up the good work. The Queen puts a shiny gold medal over Miss Rabbit's head. Cheers for Miss Rabbit, the Queen says. Hip hip, hooray! Shout the children. Miss Rabbit and the children wear their boots to go out onto the palace gardens with the Queen. Do you play in your garden all the time, Your Majesty? Danny Dog asks. I don't have time for playing, no, answers the Queen. She suddenly stops. Oh dear, a muddy puddle. Never mind, we can walk around it. You can't walk around a muddy puddle, Peppa says. You have to jump in it. Peppa shows the Queen how to jump up and down in the muddy puddle. I say, that does look fun, the Queen says. Here one goes then. Stop! Shouts Peppa. Everyone gasps. If you jump in muddy puddles, Peppa says, you must wear your boots, Your Majesty. The Queen goes inside and comes back with her boots on. Everyone loves jumping up and down in muddy puddles, including the Queen. Peppa Pig, recycling fun. Mr. Bull, the bin man, is collecting the rubbish. It's early in the morning, so he tries to be as quiet as he can. But Mr. Bull is not very good at being quiet. Hello, Mr. Bull, snorts Daddy Pig, Peppa and George. Hello, everyone, says Mr. Bull. Peppa and George are helping to clear up the breakfast things. We don't put the bottles in the rubbish bin. They can be recycled, says Mummy Pig. Soon they have collected enough things, so Peppa and her family set off for the recycling centre. Mummy Pig has the bottles, and Peppa has the tin cans, George has the newspapers. Is everybody ready? Asks Daddy Pig. Yes, shouts Peppa and George. Soon they arrive at Mrs. Rabbit's recycling centre. Mrs. Rabbit is sitting high up in a big crane. She is busy recycling all the rusty old cars. It is very noisy. Who knows which bin the bottles go in? asks Mummy Pig. The green one, says Peppa.
That's right,
snorks Daddy Pig. And the cans go in the blue one, says Peppa. Well done, Peppa, smiles Mummy Pig. Daddy Pig lifts George up so we can empty the newspapers into the red bin.
Where's our car gone?
asks Daddy Pig. Stand back, shouts Miss Rabbit from above them. Miss Rabbit is about to recycle Peppa's car. Stop! shouts Peppa. Our car isn't old and rusty. Haha, silly me, says Miss Rabbit. I just love recycling. So do we, laughs Peppa. But we also love our little car. The end. Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig's family computer. Mummy Pig is working on the family computer. She is typing very fast. Mummy Pig has a lot of important work to do today. Daddy Pig is in the kitchen making soup for lunch. Daddy, Peppa asks, can we go and watch Mummy on the computer, please?
Yes, as long as you don't disturb her,
Daddy Pig says. Mummy, Peppa asks, can George and I sit on your lap and watch you work? Yes, as long as you both sit quietly, Mummy Pig agrees. About a minute later, Peppa asks, can we play a Happy Mrs. Chicken game on the computer? Mummy Pig says, we can play Happy Mrs. Chicken later, but now I have to work. Another minute later, Peppa asks, Mummy, can we help you work? Peppa taps away at the computer like Mummy Pig. No, Peppa, Mummy says. You mustn't touch the computer while I'm working. Yes, George, Peppa says in a bossy voice. You mustn't do this. Peppa taps away again and the computer flashes. Peppa, stop, Mummy Pig says. Sorry, Mummy, Peppa says. I was just showing George what not to do. Daddy Pig, Mummy calls. Can you mend the computer while I finish lunch?
Daddy Pig says. I'm not very good with these things.
Daddy Pig pushes a button. Daddy Pig pushes another button.
Maybe if I switch it off and switch it on again.
Daddy Pig mended the computer. Hooray, Daddy! shouts Peppa. She and George jumped up and down.
Yes, Daddy Pig smiles. I am a bit of an expert at these things.
Daddy, Peppa asks, can we play that computer game Happy Mrs. Chicken? Mummy said we could play it later, Peppa says. And now it's later.
Well,
Daddy Pig thinks for a moment.
Okay then.
Daddy Pig starts the Happy Mrs. Chicken game.
Ho, ho, ho.
Daddy Pig laughs as Peppa and George play Happy Mrs. Chicken. Mummy Pig says as she comes into the room, I see the computer's working again. The end. Peppa Pig, George's birthday. Today is George's birthday. It is very early in the morning, says George, jumping up and down. Happy birthday, George, say Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig. George woke me up, says Peppa. Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig have a present for George. When George opens it, he shouts, Dinosaur! Grrr!
Ho, ho, squeeze its tummy,
says Daddy Pig. George's new dinosaur roars. Hee, hee, laughs George. Peppa has made George a card. When George opens the card, he shouts, Dinosaur! We're going somewhere very special for George's birthday treat, says Mummy Pig. Yippee, says Peppa, and off they all go. The family arrives at the museum.
George, what do you like the best in the whole world?
Says Daddy Pig.
Dinosaurs,
Says George. George's birthday treat is a visit to the dinosaur room, says George, jumping up and down.
Beep, beep.
Says a great big dinosaur. George is very upset and starts to cry.
don't be frightened, George. It's not a real dinosaur,
Explains Mummy Pig. George loves the robot dinosaur. Surprise! Peppa and George's friends are here. Mummy Rabbit has made a birthday cake for George.
It's a dinosaur cake.
Says Peppa.
Happy birthday, George.
Shouts everyone.
There's one last surprise,
Says Daddy Pig. Everybody follows Daddy Pig outside. What's that? Asks Peppa, looking at George's surprise. Daddy Pig switches on a pump.
It just needs to be filled with air,
He says. It's a bouncy castle! Peppa cries. No, it's a dinosaur! A bouncy dinosaur! Shouts Peppa. Dinosaur! Says George. The end.